Hey guys, today we're checking out a Barebone mini PC with an Intel i5 processor. This is a review unit from GearBest, and at the time of producing this video, you're looking at a price of $259.99 in US dollars, which is roughly the going price for the Intel NUC Barebone PC, but that one comes with a lesser Core i3. Check the video description for links and more information. This PC has an Intel Core i5-7200U, which has 2 cores plus hyper-threading, with a base clock of 2.5 GHz, but it can turbo up to 3.1 GHz. The entire unit is passively cooled. We have Intel HD Graphics 620 with a 300 MHz base clock, but it can turbo up to 1 GHz with 24 unified shaders. Just like the Intel NUC, this is a Barebone PC, so it doesn't come with any storage or RAM. It's really easy to get into the machine. There are 4 screws, so we just have to unscrew those. For storage, here's a mSATA SSD slot, so I installed a SanDisk SSD with 128 GB of capacity. The machine also has 2 SATA ports and comes with all the cables and screws to install a single 2.5-inch SATA hard disk drive or SSD. We also need some RAM, and today we're using a 16 GB kit that Timetech sent to our channel for this project. This Barebone computer uses DDR3L memory, so prices are a little bit better than DDR4. You can get such a 16 GB kit from Amazon for $94.99 US dollars at the time of producing this video. The memory is made in the USA and they worked perfectly for this project. The full 16 GB are showing up and the memory runs at the rated 1600 MHz. So thank you Timetech. That memory kit worked great, the price is good value and I can definitely recommend it, and we will definitely use it in future projects. We will install Windows and run some games and benchmarks shortly, but before that let's take a closer look at the unit. At the front we have 3 USB 2.0 ports, here's the power button, and there's a blue LED that is not too bright. At the back of the unit we have 2 antennas for 802.11n wireless and Bluetooth. We've got a microphone and speaker inputs, a generous 4 USB 3.0 ports, Gigabit Ethernet, VGA and DVI outputs, 2 serial ports, so that could be useful for industrial applications, and a 12-volt power input, which makes this very suitable for cars, boats and caravans. Here we have the power supply. It's rated at 12 volts and 5 amps. My unit came with a power cord for the US, but it uses a standard 3-pin connector, so you can just use your local version. The unit weighs 1.2 kilos, is just over 21 centimeters wide, 15 centimeters deep, and just under 6 centimeters tall. Inside the box we've got a user manual, a driver disk, there's a mouse pad, a set of screws, the power brick including the US power cable, and also 2 cables to install a 2.5-inch hard drive. Okay, let's connect this to the capture computer and find out what this machine can do. So the first thing we need to do is access the BIOS. You do this by just hammering the delete key. The BIOS is fully unlocked with a ton of options to play around, but be very careful. If you make the wrong changes, your machine might not turn on anymore. I've got Windows 10 on a USB flash drive, and there's an option to boot from it, and then we're going to install Windows 10. Now Barebone computers, they don't come with a Windows license, so I use the SCD Keys website. Here you can buy a Windows 10 Pro key for $14 US dollars, and I've bought several keys from them in the past and they're still activated and working well. Here we are in Windows and I installed the drivers from the CD, followed by all the Windows updates, and very important for gaming, to load the latest Intel graphics drivers. Let's have a look at some benchmarks. So I'm going to compare this machine against all the previous mini PCs that we checked out on the channel. And in CPU set, we're running the benchmark for the single-threaded performance. We can clearly see that the i5-7200U has the much higher IPC. And here we have results with 3D Mark, and look at the performance difference. It is twice as fast as the Beelink X45, which is a current model. It just got released recently. So this model is a huge step up compared to those mini PCs with the Apollo Lake or Gemini Lake generation. And now we're going to have a look at some games. As always, I picked games that run well on this machine. Have a look at the bottom of the video for the name of the game and also some information about the settings. And we have MSI Afterburner giving us some statistics as well. I had some issues with the software. Under OpenGL, for example, the FPS graph was working fine, but that didn't work under Direct 3D.
Someone's there.
Stay low and avoid contact if possible. You don't really want to.
Screw you, buddy! Suck it down!
Jack, I've been able to tie your compass in with the transceiver. This means that now I can supply you with a bearings marker. It should give you a rough idea of where to go.
Okay guys, let's summarize this video and I'll tell you what I think. Firstly, I was impressed with the performance of this little computer. It's a huge step up from the mini PCs that we looked at in previous videos. The iPC is a lot higher and hyper-threading helps a lot with multi-threaded tasks. This was noticeable right away when installing Windows, running updates, installing games. The machine felt very responsive and snappy. The Intel HD 620 graphics is also a massive improvement over what you get with an Apollo Lake or Gemini Lake mini PC. In 3D Mark we saw that the 3D graphics performance roughly doubled compared to something like a Beelink X45. And we could see the difference when playing games. Far Cry, Need for Speed Underground, Half-Life 2 were all silky smooth, and even more demanding games like Race Driver Grid or Crysis are playable on this machine. The cooling also impressed me. The unit is silent, and apart from the blue LED at the front, you cannot tell if it's on or off, and the temperatures were fine. Now do note that the entire unit is basically one massive heatsink, so the entire unit does warm up a bit. The machine worked great for me. The only negative issue I can report is that the wireless card unfortunately is not dual band, but at least it is easy to replace, or you can just use a USB wireless dongle or go with the gigabit Ethernet port. I do like the many USB ports. We get 4 USB 3.0s at the back, plus 3 USB 2.0 ports at the front. The unit runs off 12 volt power, so it can be used in cars, boats or caravans. So all in all, when we compare this unit with an Intel NUC, we're getting better value. For similar price, we're getting an upgraded i5 instead of an i3. The unit, however, is physically larger, but then it gets away with passive cooling, so there's no fan noise, and we're getting more ports, USB 3.0 especially, and also we can save a bit of money on RAM prices because it uses DDR3 and not DDR4. And that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think of this mini PC. Any questions about the features, specifications or whatnot, leave them down below. I do my best to answer them. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I shall see you soon with another one.